Right. Hello, finally, sorry about that. It's now time for the Best Man speech. Firstly, I'd like to thank Daniel and Brian for their wonderful speeches. I hope they all entertained you. A little bit, both of you. Before I start to embarrass Daniel today, I'd just like to say it's been a wonderful wedding, and I'd like to thank all the people who spent many hours, lots of time and effort organising today, so thank you. A round of applause for them. I've actually got 2 cards from people who couldn't attend today, so just read them out for you. To Daniel and Louise, we will be thinking about you on your special day. Love, Julia, Robert, Auntie Laura and Sophie. So I hope that means something. Get worse, the second one is in German. Briefly, I've been informed that, translated, means have a great day. If you want to know what it says, if you speak to Duncan, I'm sure he'll translate it. Right here. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is David. For those of you that do, I apologise. I'm pleased to say that I am best man. I'm pleased to say that after 8 years of friendship, Dan has finally admitted the fact. I've always known he's looked up to me. Look, what more can I say? He's even dressed like me. But no, seriously though, you're a great mate. I'm sure you all agree with me, but they all look fantastic, and Louise and Brighton needs look beautiful. Yeah. As I said, I've known Dan for a while now, and everyone I know who's met him always has a good word to say about him. Unfortunately, none of them could make it today. So, you've heard about how Dan and Louise met in the seminarium, but I bet you're all wondering how Dan won Louise's heart. Was it his good looks, his fun personality, or was it his smooth chat-up lines? Which, I have been informed, were needing a sexy doctor to nurse his broken finger better. And at the end of their first date, he was romantic and straight to the point as usual, saying, "I suppose I'd better kiss you now." If you're worried, I've done my research. So, seeing as we've got the PowerPoint here, I suppose we should start with some photos. But before I do that, I'd just like to read out a quote from one of Daniel's school reports from Leeds Grammar School. Basically, it says, he's an intelligent, articulate young man who is interested in and serious about his work. He is a pleasure to teach and a positive asset to the class. I think that kind of sums you up. You're a great guy. Yeah, so as you can tell, Dan is a motivated, independent person. And I think this is illustrated by the fact that as soon as he turned 17, he was ready to start his driving lessons, weren't you? Yeah? And he booked them straight away. And here he is, the day he passed his test. Oh. As with his driving, Dan began studying for his medical career at an early age. I must also say, well done, Dan. I'm impressed with your table manners today. We both know you found it a bit difficult in the past. As with all Best Man speeches, now comes the time to reveal Dan's coloured past. He has been, as I'm sure you all know, a bit of a ladies' man. Here he is with one of his favourites. Oh, nice shirt as well. Traditionally, I'm supposed to ridicule and humiliate the groom during my speech. My job should be pretty easy then, as you will all see later on the dance floor. Dan can do this for himself. The kids, if you stay around a bit longer, you might see some moves. Of course, with a little help from his friends. had a great sense of style. Here he is sporting the skater boy look. This particular photo was taken during our second visit to the Leeds Rock Festival with some friends. We were young, drunk and ready to rock. One particular night, after drinking beer all day long, our other friends, unable to keep up, had fallen asleep around 2 in the morning. Dan and I, however, decided it would be sensible to drink a few more beers and go on some awful spinning fairground rides. I vaguely remember Dan clinging on to me throughout the whole ride and having to look after him afterwards, which wasn't pleasant. As of this moment, I am passing this job on to Louise. As you probably know, or you may not know, skateboarding has always been a big part of our friendship. Here's Dan. I think our skateboarding, it all started at the young age of 18. While everyone else was embarking upon the joys of adult life, Dan and I were hanging out with the other 12-year-olds at the local skate park trying to impress them. What has followed is 4 years of kickflips, ollies, cuts and bruises while trying to outdo one another. We even spent the first year back from uni building an awesome skate ramp in Dan's garage. I think we spent a large amount of our student loan paying for the materials. I think both our skating careers is best summed up by one of Dan's skating accidents. He was going up one of the skate ramps to trying to do this trick, but he actually fell quite hard onto the floor. He was in quite a lot of pain. And then, unfortunately for Dan, that was not it. The skateboard had also flown up into the air and landed on his jaw. And ouch! I think it still hurts today, doesn't it? Despite his childish antics, beer-driven lunacy, and his embarrassing way with the ladies, Dan has some excellent qualities, which I hope I've brought to your attention. He's an independent, fun, motivated, well-dressed, good-looking guy. A guy you can enjoy a pint with, and I'm sure Greg, Bob, Sean, everyone who's met him will all agree with me. All these qualities undoubtedly make Dan the perfect partner for Louise, and I'm sure they will make an extremely happy couple together. So, could I get you all to raise your glass in a toast to the happy couple? To the happy couple.
Oh, there you go, that'd be good.
I don't know how I did it.